Manga recap here. Today I'm going to explain an adventure comedy manga called I'm a Behemoth, an S-ranked monster, but mistaken for a cat. I live as an elf girl's pet. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. From its outside appearance, the maze city looks like a normal tourist spot, with canals stretched out all over, making the gondolas its main attraction. As pretty as this isn't the main reason why people visit the place. The city is dubbed as a maze-like dungeon, and it serves as the home to many rare monsters, ores, and herbs that can only be found in the city's center point. This is why Maze City is surrounded by sturdy walls. If the monsters escape, the walls will trap all of the demonic creatures along with every human being inside. Amidst the many monsters that are killed every day is an S-ranked behemoth monster that's trapped inside a cute and fluffy kitten's body. Gravely injured, the behemoth kitten is attempting to walk towards the exit of the dungeon when he sees a lady's shadow. It's a somber world for these creatures, so he simply accepts his fate, thinking that it would be better to be slain by her than to be eaten by the other vicious monsters on the prowl. The behemoth passes out, and when he comes to, he finds himself in a comfortable bed with an angel in front of him. Or so he thinks. She's actually an adventurer who found him all wounded, so she nursed him back to health. Endeared by the kitten's cuteness, she draws him to her ample bosom, which he can't help but compare to a melon. The elf girl invites him to sleep with her, fully convinced that the monster she's taking care of is nothing but a cute and innocent cat. In reality, the kitten used to be a knight, who is now reincarnated as an S-ranked behemoth monster that's inside the body of a feline. So to summarize, our hero is human on the inside, cat on the outside, and behemoth on the ability side. He only found out about this while looking at a small pond of water in the dungeon. To explore his life as a monster, he fought the low-ranking goblins using his strongest skill set as a behemoth, and tried to eat a weird-smelling but sweet-tasting slime that increased his skills. He has a range for them, from elemental blast to harvesting, poisoning, flight, and more. As he survived his first day of being a bona fide monster, he realized how lucky he was to be a brave knight in his past life. He then came across a treasure chest, and when he opened it, he saw a sparkling diamond inside. This excited him, since he never saw any treasures in his past ventures. He touched the diamond, but doing so transported him to another place, where he's placed right on top of a large unknown creature. Instantly, the behemoth is struck by fear, which only doubled when he heard a powerful monster roar, making him jump. A fear-drenched howl ripped through the behemoth when he saw that the creature was an S-ranked monster called an earth dragon. The dragon menacingly promised to grant him death for disturbing his peaceful sleep before clawing the much smaller creature. The kin braced himself to take his final breath, but he would grow surprised to realize that he somehow survived the blow. Without a second to waste, he used his elemental tail sword to distract the dragon and fly to the cavern's ceiling. It was a hellish first day, but he got to end it by getting cuddled by an oh-so-bountiful elf lady. So who's the real winner here? The next morning, the monster watches the lady adventurer prepare for her day. She says that she'll leave the window open so he can come and go as he pleases, before leaving him with milk so he can get better. As he drinks the delicious milk, the kin can't help but feel touched by the elf girl's kindness, so he decides to return the favor by dedicating his life to serving her. With that, the monster searches for her and finds her among a sea of people. He follows her across town and discovers that she's a D-rank adventurer named Arya. As the woman rides the gondola to the dungeon district, the monster stares lovingly at her. He continues to observe her while she fights the goblins. He notes that she's got the basics of knife fighting down, but what's especially impressive about this adventurer is her speed. Her running, weapon changing, and splashing speed are all unbelievable, especially considering the intimidating weight of her heart. He assumes that it's a special skill, coupled with her using her clothes to minimize the weight of her equipment. As Arya gathers the dead goblin's ear for her quest, Kitten Man Crybaby starts growing distressed at the sight of her doing such a dirty job herself. He even considers revealing his true identity, so she wouldn't have to do that. Arya then decides to kill one more goblin, but the creature has revealed to be an elemental caster, which makes Arya nervous. Fortunately, the kin rescues her by casting his own spell, which kills the goblin. Terrified, Arya asks the kitten why he's there and how he can use magic. Though the kitten wishes that he could have served his new master more, he resigns to the possibility of Arya killing him. But to his surprise, she just thanks him for saving her and denies the possibility that the kitten she's so endeared by is actually an S-rank monster. They go to the guild hall inside the market district. Soon, they're stopped by a man named Casman. He invites Arya to join his party, but she politely turns down his offer. Casman remains insistent though, and even tries touching her inappropriately. Furious, the kitten quickly bites Casman's hand before jumping and violently scratching his face. After that, the kitten quietly takes his place back against Arya's chest, but Casman pulls out his sword and threatens to kill the kitten. However, the guild's receptionist intervenes and warns him that drawing his sword inside the hall is prohibited. And because of the receptionist's big and burly frame, imposing aura, yet feminine disposition, Casman runs for the hills, terrified. The guild's receptionist's name is Arnold Hosenegger, but they're better known as Anna. Arya thanks Anna for their help, and Anna praises the kitten for helping his master out. The adventurer then recounts how the cat even saved her by killing a goblin with a spell. This makes the kitten nervous, thinking that Anna will get suspicious of him. But instead, Arya says that the cat might be an elemental one, and Anna agrees with her. The whole guild is mesmerized by the tabby elemental kitten, as it's their first time seeing one. Best of all, this puts the kitten in the clear because elemental cats aren't considered as monsters, but animals that can understand human language and cast spells. Soon, Arya officially takes the kitten as a pet and names him Tama, which now allows him to accompany his master anywhere without hesitation. This sounds all cute and wholesome, and it could have stopped there. But that's not what this manga is about. No. Which is why Anna warns her that elemental cats can get big and are able to crossbreed, meaning that Tama might end up attacking her during mating season. But Arya remains undeterred, and she even encourages Tama to grow bigger as soon as possible, so he can be her first. While kissing his head, Arya says, "We're gonna nya-nya a lot, aren't we?" As for Tama, he looks like his soul's already gone kaput from his body. Yeah, After Arya gets surrounded by different men offering her drinks, the two of them head out to have dinner. While buying food, Arya is once again hounded by men who want her kitten, but not the one that's perched against her. Eventually, they have dinner together, with Arya encouraging Tama to eat a lot, so he can grow big already. She finishes 3 bottles and teases her cat, calling him cold for ignoring her in favor of cleaning himself. Then, Arya invites Tama to go to the bathhouse with her, leaving the kitten flustered. He believes that a proud knight like himself shouldn't join a female bath, but he still goes with her under the pretense of protecting her as a knight. As Tama swims in the bath, Arya asks him if he thinks that she can get strong and be like the master fencer, who had saved her entire village from getting ransacked. She's rather disappointed that Tama had to save her when she was in danger. So the tabby kitten scoots closer to her, promising that he will protect her until her dream to become a stronger adventurer comes true. Later, Tama and Arya visit an armor shop owned by someone named Vulcan, who is a C-ranked adventurer. She welcomes both of them and shows a wild interest in Tama. Arya shares that he is an elemental cat, and an excited Vulcan holds the cute kitten. While the seeds of Tama's harem is being planted, Arya asks Vulcan to make a special armor for Tama with a size adjustment chant so he can use it even as he grows up. This is important for Tama, seeing as he's been mistaken for an elemental cat. If he uses defensive skills, he'll get found out and executed. The next morning comes with Tama waking up against Arya. As Tama stretches, she asks him to pamper her a lot today. Though he seems hesitant, he still does as he's instructed, since it's his obligation as her servant. With Arya enjoying the spoils of his affection a bit too much, Tama is struck with the dreadful realization that his master isn't just an elf. She's an Erafu, an elf with dirty desires. But before anything could happen between them, Vulcan knocks on the door, much to the kitten's relief. She excitedly presents the armor she made for her elemental cat, and the two of them giddily get Tama dressed. The armor and head protector end up fitting him so well that Arya can't help but squeal in excitement. Vulcan then gives Arya her now repaired knives, and with that, the well-equipped duo takes on another quest. Their first quest together is at the dungeon's first floor, where Tama stays at the back to make sure that no one will attack his master from behind, while Arya kills the goblins huddled in the corner. As always, she exhibits immense speed using her accelerator skill along with her exemplary knife work. As for Tama, he may be a behemoth monster, but his strength is still limited because of his young age. He also has to be careful to use elemental magic. Regardless, Arya is confident about their quest, and the two of them head to explore the next floor. But as soon as they step foot on the second floor, a D-ranked monster called Orc greets them. Immediately, the creature is mesmerized by Arya's beauty, and the depraved face he's making leaves her too disgusted to attack first. The Orc then takes advantage of this and strikes, so Tama quickly rescues his master by casting a fireball in the monster's direction. The Orc gets distracted, so Arya attacks him and pushes her knife to his chest. After killing the Orc, Tama thinks about how it's been so long since he's tasted monster meat and gained some skills from it. But just as he's approaching it to take a bite, Arya picks him up, rubbing her face to his stomach. She coos about how he'll hurt his tummy if he eats monster meat. This worries Tama, and he starts contemplating what he should do now that he can't increase his skill anymore. They then go to the guild hall, where Anna nervously tells them that it's not a good time to be visiting the guild. Arya asks what's wrong, but before Anna could reply, Casman shows up. With a grin on his face, he presents a decree to Arya that orders the beheading of Tama because of what the cat did to him. Arya is horrified to hear this, and the people around them are equally perturbed, but none of them dares to step up to Casman, as he is the Baron's eldest son. Relishing in his power over her, the lecherous Casman asks Arya if the kin is really that important to her. Arya frantically tells him that Tama is like her child, and pleads that he forgives her cat. Casman takes advantage of Arya's weakness, and instead of forgiving her pet, he challenges her to a duel. If she wins, the decree will no longer take effect, but if Casman reigns victorious, then he will take her hand in marriage. Despite how dour this arrangement is, especially since Casman is a C-rank adventurer, while she's just a D-rank, Arya desperately and tearfully accepts the duel. She bows low, still begging Casman to revoke the order. Tama follows suit. Murderous intent crosses his face. Angry and vengeful, he vows to make Casman pay for making his master cry. When both challengers are ready, Anna yells for the duel to start, and without further ado, Tama charges forth and casts his spell, Icicle Lance. But Casman is unmoved, literally, and the spell is rendered useless as he uses the Ring of Magic Protection. This heirloom was gifted to him by his father, and it negates any magical attacks. Still, Arya remains determined to defeat this arrogant son of a gun, and she springs into action with her accelerator skill. While Casman is impressed by her speed, he easily dodges her attacks, calling them simple. He then strikes back using his sword to finish her off. But to his surprise, Tama jumps in and takes the brunt of the attack. Seeing her pet harmed by the cruel man devastates her, and Arya cradles Tama in her arms. This is when Casman offers her another deal. If Arya admits defeat, then he will spare the cat's life as long as she marries him. But for all the pain that Tama's under, he can't just let Arya marry a man like Casman, who's a coin flip away from deciding if he's uglier on the inside or out. And with that, he resolves to use a non-magical skill, even if it'll run the risk of him being discovered. So before Arya can say yes to Casman's proposal, the S-ranked behemoth monster lets out a howl, causing Mr. Baron's son to fly and hit the wall. The people are shocked by this, but they urge Arya to finish Casman off before he recovers. Without wasting any more time, she rushes towards him, and much to his surprise, Arya decides to finish him off with a powerful axe kick. Finally, the D-ranked adventurer Arya reigns victorious over the arrogant and duck-looking Casman. After the fight, Tama is recuperating against an emotional Arya's chest when Anna comes in and opens up the question of how Tama managed to attack like that. The kin is nervous at first, thinking that he's finally found out, but thankfully, Anna assumes that Tama's just using a racial skill of his since some elemental cats have them. This is a close call though, since Anna almost thought that Tama's a monster. Another morning passes by, and Arya and Tama spend it in the armor shop. While Arya shops for weapons, Vulcan plays with Tama as he rests on her chest. Suddenly, Vulcan calls out to Arya, and when she turns to her, Vulcan invites the elf to join her party. Arya agrees to this, but she asks Vulcan why a C-ranked adventurer like her would team up with a newbie, so she explains that ranks don't matter to her. Plus, Vulcan's party got dissolved, so now, Arya and Tama are armed with a new and more experienced member. The moment Tama took the mantle of Arya's protector, it seems as though he had already accepted that he'll always have one foot, paw, in the grave. But what's a little danger when he found a purpose for himself here in his new life? Being an elf girl's cat isn't much, but it's honest work, and Tama's willing to do everything he can to make sure that Arya achieves her modest goal of being a strong adventurer.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.